So I know we're coming up. I want to be respectful of your time. So the last question that I want to ask you is just, where you see things going maybe for the next 12, 18 months in the bowling industry.
I have a lot of balls back here. None of them are magic. I think we talked a little bit about this post-pandemic world and how business has been good. And I think if we're going to, we need to just continue to capitalize on that. We need to continue working towards providing that experience that people are expecting when they come. They've been coming out, provide great service, provide a good experience. They will come back, but you also need to communicate with them and make sure that they want to come back. That customer that was coming once a year has been now coming more often. And it's because they lost out on a couple of years of doing things with their friends and family. And so how do we push to see them again? And I think that has to be our focus, because they'll come back for something else. There's plenty of other things to do. My thing here in New York City, specifically Staten Island, that's 13 miles long, 8 miles wide. We want people to keep their money here and spend their time and energy here without having to go over any of the bridges. Please go enjoy the rest of the city. There's plenty of things to do. But when you're looking for entertainment, we have everything here. So how do you keep them here? The more places that open, wonderful. Dave & Buster's opened up, I don't know how many miles away. Great. It keeps people on Staten Island. And so maybe they'll go play some games, they'll eat and drink, and then they'll come bowling after, or vice versa. How do you provide that you have to work together or not feel that you have competition that's going to pull business away from you. You need to complement it and find a way to essentially agree that, hey, this is good. And it is good. We need all of that people. And I think that's every community. So in the next couple of years, I think it's really hammering home, providing that service, providing a clean space that people want to come back to, and they will. There's no reason. We provide one of the greatest activities. Everybody can do it. There are no barriers, and everybody gets to play. So when kids join youth programs, they're not sitting on the bench. They get to play. They're not. You don't have the same atmosphere that you might have in other sports, and so that leg up is so important, and that trickles down to just your open play business, and then of course your eventual league business where everybody just wants to come out and enjoy themselves.
Right. Yeah, I think you make a great point. Also, like you're seeing such a nice peak of the business. You're like, how do you keep it going? These people are coming out more than they were before. It's just up to us now to keep them coming back and to keep that rocking, because when you hit your high point, there's, you don't want to go back down. You want to keep that momentum going. And like you said, it comes down to the service experience.
Without a doubt. It's the first thing they tell you. So we had a team meeting yesterday, and it was with our maintenance team, and they're the front lines, right? They're the ones keeping this place clean. They're the first thing that, in many cases, the first person that the customer sees. And one of the comments that came out in this conversation was, when you look at reviews, and do you know what the first two things people say are? Number one is, wow, this place is clean, because of our maintenance team, right? So if people are seeing that and talking about that's so important. So just providing a clean environment is, especially during the time of the pandemic, and follow. One of the comments we typically get, wow, you guys did a great job helping us feel safe while we were coming bowling during this time, and so glad to continue to see that you're doing X, Y, and Z. And when people come in the doors just to use our restrooms, I take that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
They're in the neighborhood and they found us to use the bathroom.
Right. Yeah.
That says something. And you build on that.
Yeah. I think sometimes we underestimate how important the cleanliness, particularly the bathrooms, is for the guest experience. Time after time, I hear that come up as something that's really critical. And we're thinking about what they're doing on the concourse, when really in the back of their mind is, how clean are these restrooms?
Yeah. Absentee ownership doesn't really work. And so when you're not there, you have to then be able to trust your team to see that, but they're also not looking at it through the same lens you are. And so if you're not going to be there, then you need to have that person or people. And so I walk around this bowling center all the time, and my family and our management team, and I'm like, hey, listen, you see something, please say something. If there's something that's got to be fixed, taken care of, if we're seeing it, the customers certainly see it. Now, we do stare at the same thing every day. So of course we're going to notice it more. The customer may not, but somebody's going to see it, and they're not going to say something. They're just going to take it for granted. We tend to do that ourselves. It's no big deal. No, it is a big deal. These little things add up, because then it's going to be the next thing. And what's the next thing? And then that next thing becomes something else. Excuse me. The next thing becomes something else where, you know what? I went back to Rabs, and the place is falling apart, this, that, the other thing, because nobody paid attention to just one little thing. And that one little thing turns into 3 or 4 little things that then eventually turn people off.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It becomes something like cultural, a habit. Awesome.
Hey, did you like this video? Great. We make 10 of them a week. Subscribe to learn more and keep learning about what's working in the industry. Talk to you then.